Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm Amy Little, Director of the Year Centre, but really this presentation is very much a team effort from the Year Centre group. So what is the Year Centre? Well, firstly, YEAR stands for York Experimental Archaeology Research. The centre was established in 2015 and was officially opened in 2018 by TV personality Ray Mears, who's been really supportive of the work we do. And the Year Centre is part of the Department of Archaeology at the University of York. So at York, we integrate experimental archaeology research with a number of specialisms, from period-specific research on artefacts to the application of scientific techniques, including microanalysis, bioarchaeological methods at our world-leading BioArCh facilities. And we now have students applying experimental archaeology methods to nearly all archaeological periods. We have excellent connections with our local museums and the York Archaeology Trust, who have let students study artefacts from their collections and design experiments relating to real-life archaeological questions. So at York, one of our greatest strengths is the integration of biomolecular research with experimental archaeology, whether that be residues on flint, proteins trapped in the surface of a grindstone, or perhaps even aDNA from birch bark tar, or lipids found in the food crusts from pottery. The great thing about our facilities here at York is that you can carry out experimental research at the Year Centre and walk just 2 minutes to our PalaeoHub labs or our BioArCh labs to extract biomolecular information. Increasingly, students and researchers are combining digital imaging techniques with their experimental work, which we see as a really exciting new direction and one of York's growing strengths. Our PalaeoHub labs have laser scanners and a 3D printer, which opens up all sorts of exciting possibilities for the integration with experimental approaches. We were recently successful in being awarded a large grant to purchase an SEM EDX, which is a state-of-the-art scanning electron microscope, and this is really brilliant for materials analysis. We have a strong background in ceramics, with several staff specialising in this material, including ongoing research on historical African pottery and Anglo-Saxon ceramics and prehistoric pottery from the Baltic region. Gareth Perry, who is our artefact technician, works on use alteration and provenancing of ceramics, and he currently runs modules where students learn these techniques. What's really exciting is that York now has the expertise to support projects on nearly all aspects of a pot, from provenancing the clay, production techniques, cooking methods, use alteration patterns, to the application of state-of-the-art techniques like lipid analysis and proteomics, which help provide important information about what foodstuffs the pot contained. We have a number of researchers working on experiments related to art and personal ornaments as well. In fact, one of the undergraduate students was able to publish his research on Upper Paleolithic art in the EXARC journal. Our undergraduate class also published their project on experimental approaches to exploring the function of Upper Paleolithic rondelles, the round objects you can see here, engraved with animal figures. In part because of our interest in ancient arts and crafts, we have developed expertise in the making of pigments and dyes in prehistory and also the more recent historical period. Student workshops that we run on pigment processing, I have to say, have been really good fun. Fire is a really central part of nearly all of our research projects. Pre-COVID, we also carried out a lot of our practical teaching sessions around a campfire. And here you can see a selection of projects where fire is a critical element in the research question, including Neanderthal fire starting technologies, Upper Paleolithic plaquettes, which are engraved slabs of limestone, often found in association with hearths, and you can see those on the top right there, and student projects which look at how pots develop use alteration traces when used for cooking. Now, metalwork is an area that we are really starting to grow expertise in. Here you can see one of our former master's students, Jim Glazard, carrying out experiments as part of his master's dissertation, which focused on non-ferrous metalworking, and this was done at the EAC Centre. As well as, you can see a selection of objects made from some of our undergraduate students as well. So we also are working with colleagues at the universities in Delft and in Copenhagen and the CNRS in Nice on birch bark aceramic adhesive production. And this research forms as part of a series of PhD projects which will be replicating the making of prehistoric birch tar using these different types of methods from the past. We also teach and research how stone tools were made and function, including carrying out microanalysis of lithics. Students have carried out projects where they make their very own stone tools. They then use them to work different materials, such as raw hide, which you can see here. And then they get to analyse the resulting wear traces under a microscope. And our students have reported back that by being able to reconstruct the life history of a single tool through this sort of hands-on experience, they've learned so much more about lithic technology and function than what they had previously from just reading about it in a book. We also have ongoing projects looking at woodworking technologies right through from the Mesolithic to modern day. And we feel that we're extremely lucky to have PhD student Mike Groves, who's an expert woodworker, and you can see some of his beautiful bowls on this slide. The building of our replica hut, which is visible here, was made as part of a Smithsonian documentary channel program on the famous site of Star Car. Now, this provided students and staff a really wonderful opportunity to explore prehistoric methods of hut construction. And we'd like to build more features from different materials and archaeological periods. Plants and their use by historical and prehistoric craftspeople is a key part of our research. We are currently collaborating with external partners on a project focusing on Mesolithic string production using nettle fibres. We have two researchers, Anita Radini and Greta Pepper, who are exploring textiles, textile making via experimental methods. Believe it or not, they even spin their own wool and grow their own silkworms, which I think is really quite remarkable. Experimental research into cooking technologies has included boiling water using animal stomachs and hides, but also more conventional and less smelly methods such as pots. We have carried out research on butchery and other key stages in the cooking process. At York, we are extremely passionate about experimental archaeology, which we use for outreach and also offer as part of our undergraduate bachelor's degree. We also have a dedicated MSc and MA program in material culture and experimental archaeology. Because of how our programs are structured, in addition to taking the core modules for your degree, you can add other modules such as Vikings, Neanderthals, conservation, digital imaging, bioarchaeology, zooarchaeology, and a whole range of other types of subjects that might interest you. And because our teaching is research-led, meaning it is often linked to genuine archaeological research questions, and you're not just carrying out practical work for the sake of it, students get many more opportunities to disseminate their work by attending conferences and even getting publications. The growing cohort of PhD and postdoctoral researchers working at the Year Centre make it a very lively and really interactive research environment to be part of. So if you would like more information about our different experimental archaeology projects, check us out on social media and take a look at our lovely new website, which has lots of excellent resources, many of which were actually made by our students. If you're interested in finding out more about our bachelor's or our master's degree programs, please do check out the Department of Archaeology, University of York web pages.